What's going on, short men? How you guys doing? Welcome to the Short Men Only podcast with your boy Jalal Wilson. And I hope you guys are good because I'm good. I'm feeling great. This is episode number 2 of the Short Men Only podcast. And in today's episode, I wanted to talk about something. I want to talk about something. I got something on my mind. I was at the gym today and I was reminded of a statement that a fellow short man made about working out. And I want to talk about that. He asked the question, as a short man, should we even bother to work out? That was his question, and I thought it was a valid question. And if you don't know where he asked the question to me at, it was on Instagram at Short Men Nation, hashtag Short Men Nation. Go follow if you're not following yet, because you know I'm here for you. I'm out here putting out this content. But anyway, so he asked, like, why bother as a short man to work out? And I thought about it for a while, and thought about it for a longer while, and I thought to myself, well, wouldn't it be obvious that short men should work out? And maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. Maybe I lived in a bubble and I just thought that, all short men would see the value of working out. Or maybe I just thought that all men would see the value of working out. But he brought up some interesting points that I think it's probably worth considering, probably worth talking about. So, my first question was, when I read it, I was like, bro, you don't even lift. And then I asked him, I said, how long have you been working out? He goes, well, I was working out for a period of, I think it was like 5 to 7 years. Then I was like, oh, okay. So this isn't someone who just made a decision, who made a statement about something they don't even do. This was actually someone who's got some skin in the game. They're out there actually working out, putting in the reps. They've done it, right? They've got real skin in the game. So I'm thinking to myself, that changed my approach, because you know what I was first going to say is, bro, you don't even lift. How about you start lifting first and then ask me if you see the benefit in working out? But because he already lifts, I had to just say, okay, well, all right, my bad, bro. How about this? And he didn't just end it there. He said something else that, again, made me think about this whole working out situation. What am I missing? He said, I worked out, I got, pretty big, and nobody noticed. I didn't help me get any more. It didn't help me get any women. It didn't help me do anything. And I feel like, I'm quoting what he said. He said, I feel like I wasted my time working out those 5 to 7 years. I was like, wow, you know, that is a lot. Let's unpack that statement for a minute. He's like, one, he worked out, no one noticed. Why is that important? Let's start with that one. Well, we all as humans want to be noticed. We want someone on this earth to know that we exist. We want to feel like we matter in some form or another. And so for him, working out, he thought, based on, I'm reading into it, so if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but based on what he thought working out, that he might get some more extra attention that he might have been missing in his life if he started working out. Well, that's not a bad thought. Like, it is possible, because you see on social media some of these guys walking around with their shirts off, and in the comments the women are like, oh my gosh, I want him so bad, and all this other stuff. You see it all the time. So it's not unreasonable for this guy to think that, hey, well, if I get in the gym, this may happen for me too. So I get it. It makes sense. Now let's go to the other part of his comment, where he said, hey, looking back at that time period, I feel like I wasted my time. That is like, wow, you put in this work, you do all these things in the gym, and then you're feeling like nobody noticed. I don't feel any better about myself. Like, this was a waste of time. I could have done something else with my time. That's kind of the vibe that I got from what he said. It's like, man, I done put in the hours already. I done put it. They say put in the hours, do the work, and good things are gonna happen to you, and all this. But he's like, man, I did that. Nothing happened. And I know that's got to be a sucky place to be in and have that happen and have that type of experience. But I think that this does happen to some men, and I don't think it's just short men. I think there are tall men that this happens to. Maybe that number is far less likely, but I still think there are some, because you can be tall, buff, and awkward. You can be pretty awkward, and you can be short, buff, and awkward. So it's possible for any man. All right. So now that we kind of got the basis of what this conversation is going to be about, I'm going to give you my basically my opinion, my 5 reasons that working out has been important to me, is important to me, and will continue to be important to me. All right. Reason number 1. Well, when I first started working out, I started working out because I was skinny. I was super skinny. I mean, like, I was maybe like 100. I'm 5'4", so I was maybe 100 pounds, like, soaking wet. That just wasn't cutting it for me. I didn't want to be that skinny. Like, I'm not knocking anybody who wants to be that skinny, but I didn't. Like, I'm already short. I don't want to be short and 100 pounds. It just was something I didn't want to be. Now, that was just me. I also had an issue with sticking to things and making things happen when I said I would, and all of those type of things. I had no discipline. Basically is what I'm saying. I had no damn discipline in my life. So I started working out to not only change how I look, but also to prove to myself that I can be disciplined at something. So the first reason is discipline. I needed discipline in my life. That is what working out brought to me, was discipline. You have to, how does working out bring you discipline? I think this should be kind of obvious, but we'll go with it. It brings you discipline because you got to show up. I went and got I went and asked my cousin, who was a workout king. Like, it's funny because his last name is King, but he's got arms like this, and he's got muscles coming out of everywhere, and handsome guy. So I went to him and said, hey, will you train me? I want to get stronger. I want to put on some weight. And he was like, he looks me up and down, says, all right, little guy. I wanted to punch him, but I realized if I punched him, I probably would have broke my hand, because, like, I was all muscle. And one day I acted like I was going to punch him. Acted. Keyword was acted. Before I could even cock back, he was already starting to punch me. He said, I could tell by the way you looked at me that you were thinking about punching me. And I'm like, what the? Like, what is he? Like, does his muscles make him psychic? Like, he literally, before I could even get all the way cocked back, he was literally already punching me. And I kid you not, I didn't say anything to him. I didn't give him a mean look. But in my mind, I said, I'm going to punch this guy. But I don't know, man. I don't really know how to explain that. But that's what happened. Or at least that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I really would like to tell you that I punched him and he fell out, but that didn't happen. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So he took me to the gym. He showed me how to start working out. We started with light weights and all those things. And so for 6 months, I went to the gym with this guy. Oh, and I almost forgot. See, he wasn't the first person I tried to work out with, because I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be 100 pounds anymore. I got this other cousin. I hit him up, and I asked him to take me to the gym. He's also big, strong, and, maybe an inch or two taller than me. So I saw it in my mind. I said I could see it on him. I could see it on me. And so he took me to the gym, and we're doing something like this. I don't know what we're doing this exercise where we got this weight, and, we're doing all this stuff. And he's one of those, when he goes to the gym, he's like real intense, and we got to do everything fast. I don't got no time to take selfies, none of that. He wants to do everything fast. So we in the gym, we going from exercise machine to machine to machine to machine. And I'm like, man, all right, so this is what working out like. And so we're on the last exercise. And he has me do these things I ain't never did before. But I'm doing them. And all of a sudden I hear a pop. And I look. And I'm like, I don't know if that's normal, but I'm going to finish this last set because, I'm about to be the strong man. So I finished the last set. And I go home. And when I wake up the next day, I got this bulge on my arm. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, it's just sitting there. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to panic. I mean, this is probably normal. I told myself, well, because I've never worked out before, I'm sure this is what happens to everybody. And so, I go about my day. But, man, this thing for 2 days is still hurting. So I call him up, and I'm like, man, I got this bulge in my arm. He said, yeah, it sounds like something popped. I'm like, well, you don't say. And he's like, yeah, just put some ice on it. You'll be all right. And, it was your first time doing it. I thought that. He said, it was your first time doing exercise. It probably just happened. You'll be all right, though. All right. So I'm like, okay, cool. And then what I did, he was right. It did eventually, calm down, and my arm went back to normal. But I put him on the do not work out with list for the first 3 months. This guy's not training me. First of all, I don't have time to do 100 exercises in 100 minutes. I don't have time for that. I mean, I do have time, but I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that at all. So I'm like, I got to find me a trainer that is going to do it a little differently. So there embarked some other cousin, the one that I ended up working out with. When me and him was in the gym, we might spend 2 hours to do 5 different exercises, 3 reps each. Why? Because we taking our time. We having conversations. He's telling me about life. It was good. And what I was doing, I was showing up every time and putting in the reps. And what that helped me do was it helped me start developing self-discipline. Yeah, that self-discipline, it started helping me develop it, and it felt good. The second thing that I benefited from when I started working out was when I started working out and I seen how it was the self-discipline I got, it helped me understand creating a vision, understanding how we can visualize things and then achieve them. See, what I did when I first started working out was I got me a picture of Kevin Hart. Yeah, Kevin Hart with his shirt off, and I pasted that on my mirror. So as I'm working out, I'm looking at this picture of him on the mirror. When I came home, that's what I was looking at. Every time I took a poop, I'm looking at my boy Kevin Hart. That workout was for you. That sounds kind of creepy. But anyway, I was visualizing what I could become. And I used that picture to help me get in a frame of mind. It helped me to visualize. And when I started seeing results from the workout and seeing that, the things that we visualize, that we believe are possible, they can happen if we are also putting in the work. So it showed me that, hey, I can visualize something. I can then do it by putting in the reps. And I had been to the point, I've experienced a lot of things in my life, but I had not been to the point where I understood the power of visualization. Working out taught me that. Seeing yourself transform from what you used to be to what you thought you could be is a mind-blowing thing. It is absolutely a mind-blowing thing that I did not understand the power of until I started working out. The third thing that working out did for me, and third reason I believe men should work out, is you start seeing yourself differently. And when you start seeing yourself differently, you start feeling more confident about yourself, and you start feeling more confident. I'm going to go with confident. You start feeling more confident. There was nothing like, once I started working out, my pose changed. My poise changed. How I carried myself changed. Why? Because I was a man who had started working out, became self-disciplined, understood the power of visualization, and then it increased my confidence. And how it increased my confidence, those two things led to being competent. See, when we are competent in something, that is how we become self-confident. I was competent in knowing how to work out. I was competent in eating the right things to get my body to the place I wanted to be. I was competent in building muscles. And man, that self-confidence just radiated everywhere I went. I started to get new opportunities that I hadn't had before. I started to get, attention from ladies because my confidence was just radiating everywhere. And I mean, I couldn't help it. I was trying to put it back in the bottle, but the confidence was just spilling out all over the place. Like, you just spilling out. And I couldn't help it because I just felt, I can't really explain it. I just felt like I've never felt in my life before by taking charge and taking control and willing my body to do something that I had previously never done before. So that gave me confidence. That is the third thing. The fourth thing that I learned with working out was a lesson that my cousin told me. So life lessons. You learn life lessons while working out, and one of the life lessons I learned was that one of the things that keep you from becoming who you want to be is your effort, like how you show up. One day I came super late because now I'm this confident guy, and I'm not as I'm buff now. I don't gotta do exactly stick to the workouts we said. And he looked at me and said, at the time I was super broke. He said, "This is why you broke. See, you half-ass things. You come in here, you show up late, you playing on your phone because you done got a little bit of pub off of your working out and stuff, and then you took your foot off the gas. And see, that's what happens. And I want you to look at your life and see where you started succeeding and then you took your foot off the gas. And then watch how you go right back to where the level in your mind that you thought you belonged." And when he said that to me, because he's pretty, he's a pretty wealthy guy. So when he said that to me, it hit me like a ton of bricks because he was right. I had got so full of myself in that moment because I had never been, buff before. I had never been confident before. I had never been any of these things before in my life. And so now becoming these things, it was a game changer. I mean, I was different. And when he said that to me, I just realized, I was like, man, I've got to be better. I've got to do better. So you learn life's lessons and things like about yourself. And maybe yours won't be that, but it'll be something that you'll learn about yourself that you didn't know until you went on this journey of trying to build yourself into something, trying to build your body, trying to force your will upon your body. You'll learn something. And that was mine. And the fifth thing that working out did for me was it gave me something that I could show my children. It gave me something that I could be a source of inspiration for other, you know, short guys or other guys who haven't went to the gym and haven't been putting in the work. I was a source of inspiration for those people because they saw me go from a super 100-pound guy to now I've got the confidence, big enough to go fight a lion if it was asleep and sedated. I would, yeah. But they seen all that right before their very eyes. And so that was a great feeling too. And then just to see my son talking about how buff their dad is. Man, before I ain't never heard one of nobody ever buff and Jalal in the same sentence never ever occurred. It just didn't. So that is, those are the things that I benefited from working out. Now, with anything, there is drawbacks. One of the drawbacks for me was you have to figure out your food. You have to figure out, what's your body, what's going to work with your body and what's not. Because one of the things that kept happening with me while I'm going on, I'm just eating everything, and I would end up bloated sometimes, and just like I didn't always feel good. I looked good, but I didn't always feel good. And that was one of the major drawbacks for me, is because I wanted to look good and feel good, not just look good. And the other thing is, when you do work out, you can no longer trust that a fart will just be a fart. I mean, you can't do that. That's off the table. Like, if you start working out, I'm telling you now, that's off the table. You be done thinking about the fart, and then boom, you done just pooped your pants. You can't trust farts when you start working out. That I learned the hard way. I'm not even gonna tell that story, but I ended up having to drive home one day like this, with my feet, my butt raised off the seat, because I trusted a fart, and it wasn't a fart. It was cold world. But anyway, the other, so that those are the major two drawbacks. Actually, the third drawback is, man, you can't spend all day at the gym. You have to say, I have this amount of time, I'm going to commit to this, and that is it. And then when that time is up, that time is over, you leave. Don't live in the gym. That was one of the things, like, okay, you can't live there. So you gotta figure out a balance, because you have other things that you need to accomplish in life. I am now on this journey again of getting back into the gym, because I looked at myself a few months ago. I've had a big move. I moved from Seattle, Washington, all the way to South Carolina, and it's been quite a bit of adjustment for me. And I haven't been as active as I should be. But this week, I have went to the gym 5 days this week. We are at Saturday, and I went to the gym 5 days. And so I'm doing good. I'm getting back in there, and I'm gonna, rebuild my body. And I think now, as I'm doing this again, the motivation is different. I want to do it eating foods that I can be proud of and are not going to make me feel like, I'm just I don't got energy. Like I'm bloated all the time. I'm figuring out the diet piece of this first. So it's a different journey. I'm learning a different game now. I'm learning the diet piece of it. I'm learning like what's actually going to work for my body, as far as how to build muscle again, and what type of proteins do I want to eat. All these things. So I'm gonna have fun with that process, and I'm gonna document it. I'm gonna keep talking to you guys about it as I go. But it's just another piece. It's such an important thing for us men, is that we take care of our body. And you're not taking care of your body. So I want to speak to the Instagram post. You're not taking care of your body in hopes that a woman will want you if you do. You have to take care of your body for you. And when you're taking care of your body for you, and you allow yourself to feel competent about your ability to do that, your self-confidence will build, and you will be able to then attract people you never thought you could. Once you believe, your mindset still has to change. If you just start working out and you keep telling yourself that visualization, hey, no woman will want me, no woman will think I'm attractive, or no woman will ever see me. What you keep visualizing in your head will continue to be your story, because anytime one woman doesn't look your way in the gym or whatever the case may be, you'll read more into it than you should, and then it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I want you to not work out for other people, work out for yourself. And you'll be amazed at the things that can come from you deciding to make that decision. It's not an easy decision. There's this saying that if you do what is easy, your life will be hard. You do what is hard, your life will be easy. Getting and building the best body you can for yourself will be hard, but it will make your life easier than it will if you just stop trying, not trying to take care of yourself, not doing the best you can for yourself. Because no matter what age you are now, you have to think about how your decisions are going to affect the 80-year-old version of you. Is the 80-year-old version of you going to be proud that you're just sitting on the couch doing nothing because you believe that a woman may not like you, so you won't start working out? I want to encourage all of my brethren, all of you, start some workout program for yourself. Not for anyone else, but for yourself. And I promise you, I don't care if it's just 5 push-ups a day, just start. Develop the self-discipline of keeping that body active and moving, and things will start to open up for you. All right. Well, this is Jalal Wilson with the Short Men Only podcast. Please follow on shortmennation.com. Follow at Instagram at shortmennation, or Facebook page at shortmennation. I would love to hear from you guys. I hope this content is valuable and helps you understand that people may not notice, people may not appreciate the fact that you're working on your body, but you will in the long run. It's gonna be hard, but you're more than capable of doing it. And the confidence that you get from being competent will spill into every other areas of your life. Trust me. All right. With that being said, Jalal Wilson, Short Men Only Podcast, and I'm out.